Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, everything goes in the desired direction, desired by big interest, which we already know who they are. And more NATO troops are deployed in Kosovo. So this is the way they de-escalate tensions. Like you have a conversation or you have an argument with someone, the way to de-escalate is starting yelling louder, all right? Or starting calling names. That's a way of de-escalate the tension. We're supposed to, or if you want to, put out a fire, you add more flammable liquid on it. That's definitely gonna kill the fire. So the same thing happens in Ukraine, but that's a little bit more complicated there because over there they want the prize Russia. Here the prize is not Kosovo. Kosovo is second prize. The first prize is Serbia. So NATO brings more troops in Kosovo. That was fast, unless they were right in the vicinity. And I think they were because if you remember, I covered an article about a week ago, or maybe more than a week, where NATO had its, I think, one of the biggest maneuvers, military maneuvers, drills in the Balkans, including Kosovo. So they were already over there. And I think there are some Romanian troops, some other weasel troops. So it's okay, because they used to be brothers with the Serbs. Nowadays they have a different master, and this master does not allow Romanians or Romania per se to be continue to be friendly to Yugoslavia / Serbia. If you remember, Ceausescu and Tito had an important agreement in 1969-68 when the Warsaw Pact countries, except Romania, did not invade Czechoslovakia. And then Ceausescu came and said, hey, we condemn this invasion of an independent sovereign state by our communist brothers. And they were expecting to be destroyed by the same brothers, the Warsaw Pact. And he already spoke with Tito and he said, well, in case these guys are going to attack us from Hungary, from Soviet Union, and from Bulgaria, what are we going to do? Can you help us? And Tito says, yes, we agree that your leadership crosses the Danube into Yugoslavia and your armies unarmed. So we're going to accept any refugees, but no pop. If you want your military to come in our country, we don't want it to carry weapons. That was the agreement. And the Chinese was also involved in that, just so you know. Supposedly, that's why the Soviets and the other weasels did not invade Romania in 69 or 68, 69, 70, because the Chinese and also the Yugoslavia, Tito. Some people talk about, all kind of other weapons that Romania supposedly had. I don't know. There's no evidence to support that. So let's go back to these guys. So yes, the best way is right now to take care of Serbia. I think that's the goal. Serbia is the goal, not Kosovo. Kosovo is the second prize. Why? They have to change something in the leadership and the mentality, which is hard. It takes a lot of times. And with the Serbs, I don't know if it's going to work. They need longer. Why? Because the Serbs have balls and something else and a big heart. So it's hard to change that heart into a weasel heart, because some people are prone to that, some people are not prone to that. Serbians are not. So they're going to have to work harder. They tried so far from 1999 on, but they couldn't. It seems like the Serbs still have balls, big ones, and they're very loud. So they didn't bow down to the big interest. So what's going on? That has to be changed. How do you change that? Well, a little regime change here and there, spontaneous things, and the mass media. Once you do that, you recognize Kosovo. Kosovo is becoming everywhere in the United Nations, European Union, maybe NATO, and you're gonna be coming as a beggar in the back of the procession, as a, how you used to be before. Remember? You were either in a cage or you were with hands tied behind the whole procession, behind a cart. So let's see what's happening here in this article. Russia Today, obviously, 31st of May 2023, NATO to send more troops to Kosovo. The decision was announced after a violent standoff between NATO riot police and local Serbs. So, NATO will deploy 700 additional troops to Kosovo, where 30 of the bloc's security personnel were wounded during clashes with local Serb protesters. Another battalion will be placed on high alert in the event of further escalation. I just made a video with an article where the Serbian military said that they might intervene in Kosovo if Serbs in Kosovo are killed or displaced. There is already. I think that's going to happen either as a provocation or a crazy or something else. And unfortunately, we're going to have a war over there because NATO is there. NATO will not let Kosovo go. And where is Kosovo going to go? Back to Serbia. You got the Albanians over there. What are you going to do with the Albanians? You know what I mean? So it seems like cohabitation doesn't work. They don't like diversity, it seems like. But even though we heard here in the United States every day that diversity supposedly is our strength, but those guys want to be weak, therefore they don't want to be diverse somehow. So the Albanians and the Serbs don't want to be together because they don't understand yet. They have thick skulls. They don't understand yet what diversity brings. A lot of non-tensions. So whenever you see all kind of calls for, hey, we got here racism, we got xenophobia, we got this, and you have to be more tolerant. Well, why don't you put, let's say, two hyenas on the same territory and see what happens, how they're going to cuddle together and going to share. What is this? And the lamb will share the same land with the lion. Really. So anyway, the same here. Put a wolf and a sheep on the same territory and see how they're going to be cuddling. They're going to use diversity as their strength. But anyway, somehow we humans could be trained to be idiots. And a lot of us are, and they will fall for this. But what can you do? Change things. All right, let's see what else these guys are saying. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg. Now, this one is just Stoltenberg is just a spokesperson, not a man. Spokesperson, all right? He has no power. He does what he's told to do. Announced the move in a Tuesday press briefing saying the development was a response to recent, and I'm quoting, attacks on the force, which he said were unacceptable. Okay, well, what are you going to do? The ball is in your field. And is that exactly what they're going to do? Send more troops, de-escalate the conflict. All right. Stoltenberg urged officials in Pristina and Belgrade to take concrete steps to de-escalate the situation, while in the meantime we send more troops, and said the two sides should participate in an EU-brokered dialogue. They've been doing this for 1,000 years, and it worked just not fine. So here we have, my friends, Moscow said NATO is largely responsible for the recent spike in hostilities. Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson. Are you crazy, guys? Are you infected by this ideology? What do you mean, Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova? Here is Maria Zakharova, a very intelligent and ballsy individual. And she is a spokesperson. They have a name here? No, it's just Russia Today. Jesus Christ, people. Getting crazy. Accused the alliance of becoming, and I'm quoting, a source of unnecessary violence, end quote. It is necessary for them. It's not unnecessary. It's necessary for them. An escalation factor in the region. Yes, it's an escalation factor because they bring more troops to keep peace. She urged the bloc to silence its false propaganda, end quote, against local Serbs, who she said, oh, we have now she's a she, said had been wrongly blamed for provoking incidents. Well, I think the whole thing should go back to 1998. That we need to, where it is there we need to go back to 1998, and don't come and punch some people in the face, and things could have been solved. But it's too much to talk about it in this video, about who started what, who's responsible, who's more responsible than who's less responsible, who killed whom, and who want to take over whom and what, right? Because if you just, again, the Ukrainians are 100% victims, the Russians are 100% perpetrators, killers, and all. Now that, again, we go into dogma here. We don't go into reality. The same here. If you just take the poor and the evil then again, we go into the same, how should I put it, religious ideology of good versus evil. And for people like us, been around the block a few times, we know that sometimes these things go like this, and not like that, but like this. And sometimes there are gray areas. There are not only good or only bad or evil. You have both. Like, I'm pretty sure you did your own hanky-panky in your lives, more or less. Therefore, you can't consider yourself good. You can consider yourself mostly good or mostly evil, depending on the quantity and value. Because you can say, okay, I did only 3 things bad. Let's say I exterminated this amount of people. I did that, only 3. And the rest, there are millions of good things. Well, but those 3 were, you know what I mean? Even if it's 3 versus this, the value surpasses of your good things. I gave a little old lady $1. All right, that's a good thing. Yeah, good job. What about the other? Say what? Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. De-escalate, bring more troops. Good. It's going to be a security state. A security state always is good because it shows the freedom the citizens have. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Security is needed, but it's a point beyond which security becomes tyranny.